Yo, what's up guys? Today I'm going to give you a competitive water deck profile. I've taken this list to 4 locals now and gone undefeated every time, so I figure I'd show off the list and what I'm playing. The goal of this list is to be as consistent as possible and create boards with calamities. So I'll show you what I play to get there. First are Mermails. We play 3 Mermail Abyss Megalo. We play 3 because we want to open our combo cards, not draw them or search them. So yeah, 3 Megalo is a must-have because we also want to discard waters to activate cards like Deep Sea Aria. Next, we play 3 Mermail Abyss Teus. We play 3 Teus because it's the strongest Mermail card we have. It's a 1-for-1 and it's a really good combo starter. Next, we play 1 Mermail Abyss Pike. Pike's fine. It's a searchable card from Teus, and it's a decent normal summon if you don't have Deep Sea Diva or Prince. Next, we play 2 Mermail Abyss Gund. We play 2 Gund because we're trying to play as many waters in this list as possible. So I end up having extra slots available, and that's where the second Gund comes in. 2 Gund isn't bad. It's nice when you open up one, and it's a good extender. So yeah. Next for Atlanteans, we play 3 Prince. Prince is an obvious 3 of. You always play 3. Next we play 3 Dragoons. Dragoons is another obvious 3 of. It's mandatory. Next for Atlanteans, we play 2 Infantry. We don't play Marksman because Marksman isn't too viable right now in this current meta, and Marksman just offers, or Infantry offers so much more with the extra normal summon and popping face-ups. And we play 2 instead of 1 because we'd like to resolve Prince more than once per game. Next, going into the Deep Sea cards, we play 3 Deep Sea Diva. It's the best card in our deck in terms of our normal summon. Yes, it can get hit by hand traps pretty easily, but we do have cards to fight that. Next, we play 3 Minstrel, probably the strongest card in my list right now. What this card allows you to do is just too insane. Seeing your opponent's hand and sniping hand traps and sniping Nibiru's, it just gives you so much advantage just in terms of seeing your opponent's hand. People who play anything less than 3 of, honestly, I don't think have practiced water enough to even give a fair deck profile. Next, we play 1 Artisan. Artisan's more of a tech. I think it's really strong follow-up. It's not something you need the deck, but I had space for extra water cards, so I chose this. Next, we play a Mulan Glacia, Lapis, Launcher, and Jet Synchron to round out the monsters. We play Mulan. It's obvious broken card right now. Lapis is a really good extender if you just open the Prince. And then Fishborg and Jet are obviously for our Needle Fiber combos. Next, for the spells, we play 1 Mizuchi. We play 1 Mizuchi because we want to search something off of the Megalo. And it's a good discard card for Jet Synchron if the case comes. And negating spells is very relevant right now with cards like Super Poly and Dark Ruler No More running around. Next, we play 1 1-for-1, obvious mandatory card to get the Prince out. Next, we play 3 Deep Sea Aria. Now, we played 3 Deep Sea Aria because the goal, like I said, with this deck is to be as consistent as possible. So it does come up a lot where you do ditch Dead Waters with either Megalo or Teus or Minstrel to activate effects or summon Mermails from hand. That's where this card kind of comes up and banish one of those Dead Waters you sent to the graveyard, and then you search cards like Dragoons, Prince, Deep Sea Diva. It's really strong, and it's very strong going second, and it's very strong drawing more copies later game. Next, we play 3 Call by the Graves. I do not like this card, but we definitely have to play it with the amount of hand traps running around. Minstrel is probably honestly enough, but I figured this would just give you a little bit more safety going first. Next, we play 3 Moray Greed and 1 Upstart. This is just to make sure our deck is as small as possible. We don't want to draw anything but our essentials, so this helps a lot with fixing our hands and drawing into all of our combo starters. Alright, so now we've gone through the main deck, I'm going to take you through the extra deck real quickly. So for Link Monsters, we play 1 Access Code Talker paired with 1 Unicorn. I say those are paired because usually as a follow-up play from turn 1, you are going into your Unicorn, spinning something, and then linking it off with an Access Code Talker. You want to do this so that way you can make your Access Code Talker 5300. And usually in this list, you should have at least 3 cards to banish off to blow out your opponent's field. And honestly, Access Code Talker by itself is incredibly strong, and it can win you a game by itself. So next, play 1 Needle Fiber. Needle Fiber is pretty obvious. This card is broken. It makes any deck it's played in broken. Next, we play 1 Mermail Bislasea. This card's really strong. It's really good if you brick and you just open a cluster of waters and you need to make something. It's also really good in a grind game. And if you do brick and make this, if you're able to resolve its floating effect, then you might actually just win that game. Next, we play 1 Coral Anemone. Anemone is really strong going first and as a follow-up in late game, just because going first, if your opponent disrupts your plays, if you can extend into her to maybe like revive a prince or bring out a water, it allows you to complete your combo. And then as a follow-up play, it's really strong, just being able to revive a already used prince or a random water you might need to make a synchro or just to link off. So very strong. Next, we play 1 of the Water Charmer. We play 1 of the Water Charmer because she says that she only requires 1 water to link into her, and that's really relevant because she's a water herself. So usually what will happen is you'll have like a random non-water monster and a water monster on field. Well, you can link the token or whatever random non-water monster and then other water monster to make her, and then you can link her off into an enemy. She allows you to link off your random fodder monsters that you don't have any use for. Next, we play 1 Link Cross. Link Cross is amazing. It helps you make calamities. This card's broken and should be banned. Next, we play 1 Link Karibo. The main use of Link Karibo is usually to link off the Atlantean Prince, so that way you have 5 waters engraved to summon your Moon Glacia. That's probably the main use I have for him. Next are our Xyz. Play 1 Calamities and 1 Dweller. I think these are the only XE cards you need. I don't think Bahamut and Toad are very strong in this deck right now, just because everyone's playing, what's that card? Dark Ruler No More. So Toad isn't very good against that, obviously, because Dark Ruler No More just shuts it down. But what's so good about Dweller and Calamities is that you're able to activate the effects in the standby phase, so the effects will still go off. And Calamities is even stronger than Dweller, just for the fact that because you play cards like Minstrel, you can know what your opponent's playing and call it the attribute of your opponent's deck. Next, for Synchros, we play 1 Trishula for the hand loop and to make Calamities. And then we also play 1 Ravenous Crocosaurus for the draw power, but mainly to also help go into Calamities. Then we play 1 White Aura Whale. This card's super strong and super underrated. By itself, it is almost unkillable, allowing you to attack twice, do piercing. Its revival effect is not once per turn, and it's a lightning storm on summon for attack position monsters. It's just insane. It does so much for your deck. It being 2800 attack is also super relevant. It's so strong. And then if you summon off a Prima Donna, then it's also untargetable. So yeah, great card. Love it. Underrated. And then next we play Dragite. Dragite's only really good if you're playing against back row decks. Right now it's not that strong, but it's good enough to have in the main deck. And then lastly, we play Prima Donna. Prima Donna is a really strong synchro to summon off of your Needle Fiber for follow-up plays. I don't think Desert Locust is too strong just because your opponent chooses what to discard. And I think hand looping for 5 is kind of weak if you're not making something like Calamities or a Dweller. So I think Prima Donna is a really strong card to summon off of the Needle Fiber, just allowing you to disperse some monsters from your deck and putting banished cards into your opponent's deck and making a non-targetable synchro monster. Yeah, so all around really, really strong. And yeah, that's the extra deck. Okay, so now that I've taken you through my deck profile, I'm going to show you what this deck looks like going first. There is no 1 or 2 card combo for this list. Your goal is just to get into Calamities however you can. And you'd like to be able to drop cards like Minstrel before going to your combos. And yeah, so I'm going to take you through a quick test hand and just see what I get. So, okay, let's see. Okay, so we're definitely going to activate the Moray here. We probably don't need cards like the 2 Princes can probably go back. We're hoping to draw into a Minstrel and really put some good use to that Dragoons in our hand. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so this is fine. What we're going to do here is we're going to ditch Dragoons to activate Teus. And then Teus Goons effect will activate. So Teus, we're going to search out the gun. And then Dragoons will search out the Minstrel. So next, we're just going to send any water to the grave. Doesn't really matter. We can actually send the Prince here. So yeah, we'll Minstrel, send Prince. And then Prince will revive the Goons. So now we know our opponent doesn't have any hand traps, and if they did, we took care of them, especially cards like Nibiru. So now we can just kind of go off for free. So then we'll normal the Diva, and then Diva effect. We'll summon Prince, and then Prince effect. Where's my Dragoons? Send Dragoons, add Dragoons, and then let's see. We could honestly go into add the Megalo and kind of go off from there. But I'm just show you a more like simplified combo of like our only goal for the deck. So we're gonna add Moon and Glacia here, and then we're gonna use Diva and Prince to go into Needle Fiber, and then Needle Fiber, Special Fishborg, and let's see. Now that we have 5 waters in our grave, we can special the Moon and Glacia. Next, we'll go Fishborg and Glacia into our Ravenous Croc, and then draw 1 for Croc, a scale. So it's fine, doesn't really matter what you draw. And then we will send the Needle Fiber, go into a Link Cross. For this scenario, we're just gonna go into 1 token, and then just because we have waters in grave, we can special the Fishborg back, and then send the token away, banish the Fishborg, send Taze to the grave, and that'll allow us to special Trishula. So now we've hand looped our opponent for 3 cards, also taking a card out of their graveyard, and then we will overlay, summon Calamities, and then we can use our Dragoons and our Link Cross to just make something like the Water Charmer, just to have a better water on the field, or a better card on the field. So yeah, so now we enter a board where our opponent only has 3 cards in their hand. We have a Calamities, and we know what to use it against. And then we still have 4 cards in our hand with the Dragoons in our hand, and a gun. So yeah, so drawing just about anything will help us. And then next turn, we can also Anemone to create a stronger board to kill them on the following turn. But yeah, so just to see what would happen, their turn goes, we activate Calamities, we call whatever attribute is they're weak against, and then they do nothing on their turn because they can't do anything. We drawing Pike, really strong. So we could just normal Pike, send Dragoons, search stuff. We could search something like Megalo, and then we could search another Minstrel if we wanted. So yeah, there's just a whole lot this deck can do. It's really, really strong. It's pretty strong going second as well. It's not as strong going second as other decks are. I'd say the weakness of this deck is when playing a go first build, you have to rely on not playing a whole lot of defensive cards, which is the biggest weakness of this deck. Going second with this deck is very weak. That's why the side deck usually will be created with a bunch of hand traps in mind. Because going first, you really don't need a whole lot. You just need cards to play through your opponent's hand traps. But yeah, so that's the list. I'm really proud of it. It's doing amazing. The extra deck, I would say, is perfect with the main deck. There are a couple changes you can make here and there, but it's all around pretty consistent. I've had, honestly, no issues with it. But yeah, so this has been my deck profile. Leave any comments, chat with me, ask me questions. I'm happy to answer anything. And yeah, so thanks a lot.